What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. In this one, I am going to be talking about how to cultivate an ego that forces you to win as a man. So many people in today's society think of the ego as a bad thing, as a harmful thing. In fact, I would go as far as to say that our society has become obsessed with trying to dissolve the male ego. A lot of people do this by taking drugs, something as simple as smoking weed. It will depersonalize you. It will make you feel a sort of ego death. And this is ultimately one of the reasons why people enjoy it so much, is because it grabs them and takes them out of their life. It makes them forget about a lot of the problems that they have on a daily basis. People will take psychedelics and go on an adventure. They'll go on a trip in their mind away from their reality. It's all about trying to escape. They will take tons of other drugs. Drinking alcohol is another one that is super common in order to escape. All of these things are distractions from solidifying the ego. And what happens when you do this time and time and again, trying to dissolve the ego, treating it like it is something that is harmful, that should be suppressed, that should be separated from? Well, you develop this sort of persona. You've probably met this type of person before that says things like, just chill, bro. Enjoy life, man. Just live a little. It pushes you into a stoner state of mind. But the truth is, it's just you trying to escape. And honestly, I find this kind of persona revolting. I think that if you were born a man, you were born a leader. And this type of escapism that you are engaging with, trying to constantly run as far away as you possibly can from your ego, it's ultimately you fleeing from your responsibility as a man. It's you fleeing from fulfilling your potential. Because to feel the weight, the burden that is your possible potential resting on your shoulders is a tough weight to bear. It can be incredibly difficult for people to come to terms with the fact that they are living up nowhere near to their true potential, and they have so much more to offer, both others and themselves. So what I need you to understand is that the ego is not the problem. What the ego is rooted in ultimately causes a lot of the problems that are associated with an ego and why it's demonized so heavily. So you have to ask yourself the question, what are my core principles and values? All right? If your core principles and values are based around you trying to make as much money as possible, around you trying to signal status as much as possible, gaining as much power as you possibly can, to bring glory to yourself, you are going to have a disgusting ego. You are going to have a persona that is based around materialistic things, and you are going to make a lot of compromises with your values, with morals, and you are going to find that 10, 20 years down the line, you don't even recognize who you are as a person anymore, because you've made compromise after compromise after compromise, because these were the foundations of your ego. That was the foundation that your ego was built upon. For some people, their core principles are based around something greater. They are based around a larger purpose, to glorify God. That is one of the reasons why I do everything that I do. It ultimately all flows back to that. You know, this weekend I was watching the Mr. Olympia competition, which is where the best of the best bodybuilders get together and they compete on stage in front of tens of thousands of people. And a lot of people would look at this and think, wow, it's such a vain sport to go and exercise and build as big of muscles as you possibly can, and then to diet down till you're 5% body fat and stand on a platform and pose in front of thousands and thousands of people. That's so vain. That's so disgusting. You're trying to bring all of this glory to yourself. And yet 2 of the Olympia winners gave speeches right after they won. And all they could do was stand there and say, this victory does not belong to me. It belongs to God. God gave me this. God helped me achieve this. They were constantly pointing upwards and saying, it is not me, but Christ within me that has allowed me to do such great things. And I think that that is beautiful. When you have a frame in which you live your life and everything that you do, no matter what it is bringing glory to God, you are living a fulfilling life. It says in the Bible time and time and again that God rejoices in his creation. In watching a cow chew the cud, in watching a hawk attack its prey, God rejoices when he sees you living, when he sees you fulfilling your potential, fulfilling your purpose, doing what he placed you on this earth to do. And that is a beautiful thing. A lot of us are called to do different things. So ask yourself, what are you called to do? And where are my core principles? What are they? Number 2, when you cultivate the ego based on sound principles and values, it forces you to win. All right, and the example that I'm going to use to explain this and flesh it out a little bit is I never planned about posting about my virginity publicly. It was something that I never planned to talk about. I never planned to go on Instagram and YouTube and say, hey guys, I'm a 25-year-old virgin and I'm not planning on having sex until I get married. Because that's a pretty personal thing to talk about. And yet I decided to go public with it, and never in a million years did I think that I was going to be labeled as the virgin natty Christian guy. When people come up to me in person, that's what they say. Oh, you're the virgin natty Christian guy. That's hilarious to me. I never thought that that was going to be a part of my brand. But some will see this as extremely restrictive. And they'll say, oh, but now, Brandon, now you have to be a virgin because you're known as the virgin guy. And you have to stick to that until you're married because you've put it out there that that's who you are. And now you have to live up to this standard that you have set for yourself. That is the beauty of the ego. Played out, plain and simple. You creating your ego, creating your principles, your values, your foundation, it gives you something to live up to. Struggling with meaning, struggling with purpose? Not anymore, because you set a standard for yourself. And now it's up to you to hold yourself to that standard. And it's a struggle. It's hard. You're going to be tempted time and again. And yet you have to stand strong and prove that you are who you say that you are. I personally don't see this as restrictive. I see it as freedom. I'm not trying to go with the flow of the universe. Yo, dude, just relax. You're way too wrapped up in your life, man. You got to detach a little bit. Smoke some weed. Enjoy this. Take some shrooms. Detach for a little while, bro. You're way too wrapped up in the ego. I don't see this as restriction. I see this as true freedom. Trying to fulfill my calling, trying to glorify God in everything that I do, Does this aspect of my ego help me do that? The fact that I've put it out there, who I am and who I'm trying to be? Yes, it does. Me putting it out there, me speaking it to existence, gives me meaning. It gives me purpose to go out there and become that person. That's the beauty of the ego. You'll watch your confidence skyrocket. When you start working out, you'll notice you start to walk into a room with your chest up and your shoulders back. People start to treat you better. And now, when I work out and I build muscle, I'm now able to inspire others to become better. Just by them seeing me training in the gym. People walk up to me at least once every other day and they say, dude, keep killing it, man. You're making me train harder. You're making me work harder. You getting after it like this. You look so good, man. You're inspiring me. You're making me want to get into the best shape of my life. I am able to inspire just by existing because of the amount of work that I have put into my ego. How beautiful is that? The part of my ego that is straightforward, that is blunt, that is extremely honest, it shocks people out of apathy. It's one of the reasons why people enjoy these videos, is because I tell you guys what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And oftentimes I use colorful language to do it, to shock you guys out of thinking the way that you've been thinking, to shock you out of the patterns that are keeping you stuck. And some people will say, oh, Brandon, he's just an asshole. Lots of people think that. Even people that have met me in person, they think, oh yeah, that Brandon guy, he's an asshole because he's straightforward, he's blunt, he's not tolerant, he has all these beliefs that you should wait till marriage to have sex, and he has these beliefs that you shouldn't go around taking steroids or doing drugs or getting blackout drunk with your friends every single weekend. He's judging us. What an asshole, because he makes his principles public, because he holds himself to a standard. But that's just them looking in the mirror, realizing their own inadequacies, and comparing themselves to the ego that I have created. It's cope. It's crashing waves against a house that is built on a firm foundation. This is what I want for every single one of you guys. And last thing that I'll leave you with is the fact that speech is extremely powerful. All right? The physical practice of speaking your beliefs, of saying things. I've talked about how beneficial it is with lust to speak the word of God. Use the physical to combat the physical. Use speech in order to combat the urges of the flesh. That's a beautiful thing. So your speech is incredibly powerful. When you speak, you can either create walls that trap you, or you can create walls that protect you against the enemy. You see, a lot of people like to use self-destructive language, and they'll say things like, oh, I'm not good at that. Or, I'm just not that type of person. And they'll lock themselves in a box. Versus other people will use their speech to protect themselves against degeneracy and protect themselves against falling into patterns that they know are going to drag them away from their purpose and away from their potential. They become the people that don't drink, the people that don't play video games, the people that don't go out and do stupid things, the people that don't waste their time, the people that don't procrastinate. Those are the people that have crafted egos for themselves because they understand where they're headed. They understand what they're trying to do, and their principles and their values are their firm foundation. You continue to build these walls that protect you as you continue to make it known, this is who I am. You are now bound to your word. You have entered into an agreement with yourself that you have to prove that you are who you say you are. You are not enslaved by the ego. You are blessed by it. So work towards crafting this ego as a man. Have beliefs. Have hills that you die on. Have ideas that you will defend. Become the person who insert action that is associated with the type of person that you want to become, and then work on having everybody around you understand how you operate, what kind of person you are, so that you are forced in public settings to maintain that ego, to maintain those principles and those morals. When I say that the modern man needs to go inward more, this is exactly what I'm talking about. They need to go inward and they need to go upward. They need to think about their morals and their principles, their values, which are flowing from on high, and then they need to manifest them within before going out into the world and being washed away by the temptations, by the distractions, by everything out there that is designed to knock you off course. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Drop a like down below if you did. Drop a singular thumbs up in the comment section if you watched all the way through to the end of this video, because if you did, you've got an attention span of steel, my friend, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Peace.